Hey, it's Darlene, and today I'm working on a one-page layout using those photos. I'm using the guy stack for this because I wanted to use some orange in my papers. I picked this wood grain paper because I thought it really looked well with that orange. It has an orange feel, but it's really thin. So I went through my pile of papers that are in my giveaway pile and grabbed this. This is a Tim Holtz, I think, paper that I wasn't going to use anymore. The funny thing is I do end up using that as the base. So in that pad, I had already used it for other things. So I'm pulling out the smaller pieces, the scrap pieces, and also this one page right here because it has the stripes that I need, or the strips that I need for the layout that I'm creating. I am following a sketch, and this sketch is from the Scrapbooking with Anne Marie, Scrapping the Day Away website, and it's a really great scrapbooking site if that's something you're interested in. I will have the link below. The link will also be on my blog, which will also be down below. So I really like that teal color piece, and it is a little textured, so it has it looks like steel, I guess. I don't even know what those are called. I want to say grommets, but I know that's not right. But because it's so much, it's the prettier color, I think, of all the paper that I'm choosing. I wanted to use that one as the main color. Now I'm just going to cut up strips for that are going horizontally. Now this piece right here has that tie strip in the middle. So I'm going to still use it because I like the tan colored, and it's very small polka dots, but I'm just going to tuck it under that 4-inch tail strip, which you'll see me do in a minute. So most of the strips that I'm using are just cut off pieces from that. I showed you that page that had the strips already, but I did cut one of the pages out with those stars because I really like the stars, because it ends up being kind of a birthday theme, even though originally I thought it was going to be a month in review. But the two people that I actually have photos are one of my son, whose birthday is in February, and then my niece, her softball game, which her birthday is also in February. So it ended up kind of being a birthday page after all. But I'm just fussing around the placement of those strips, really not in any kind of color or any kind of order. You see me just kind of playing with it. I do end up cutting them down, the horizontal strips, cutting them down, just a variety. Some are down to 11, some 10 and a half, some 11 and a half, just whatever, to give it just some fun and variety. Nothing planned, I guess. So those little, I don't even know what they're called, embellishments. And, they're always on that 112 by 12 page that comes with a lot of like sentiments and journaling spots and things like that. I am really trying to use everything from that paper pad as far as the embellishments. These are just scraps. I decided to mat that larger one of my son in both white and that orange, which again, I really like that orange and that hoodie, and I really wanted to bring that color out. So this sticker sheet is from a completely different collection, but I did like the colors, and so I wanted to pull some of these orange elements out of there, because those elements that I'm using right now are mostly greens, things like that. I did want to point out that that one little crown that I have in that bottom right, it is, I think it said Prince Charming. I didn't need Prince Charming, but I did like the crown, so I do end up using that. And I think that's a good tip. So if you see something you like, but you only like a small portion of it, you can cover things up, cut them out, do whatever you need to do to be able to still use it. Now, there isn't a lot of green in the papers that I chose, but there is still some green in the patterns. And so even though those embellishments and the journaling spot are very green, they still coordinate because it's still part of the same paper pad. I fuss a lot about where I want to put those little embellishments, which is kind of funny because there's not many of them, but you know how it is. And I mentioned before, like you can turn it, twist it, put it up, move it down, left to right, whatever. And you finally get to a spot where you're like, aha, that's the right spot. So that's where I was with that. I knew I wanted to put that journaling spot up at that top left because out of everything I was putting there, that made more sense. But other than just that journaling spot, I wasn't really sure what I was doing with the rest of it, but you'll see how it comes together. And same with that happy birthday banner. I'm definitely using it. I just wasn't sure. It just was a little different. So that Prince Charming, which was a square, I did decide to cut it out or make a circle out of it. And I thought it looked a little bit more interesting, and I liked the way it looked. And again, that happy birthday sticker, I finally decided I need to stick it down somewhere because I will just, it'll make me crazy trying to figure out where to put that. And I know that's something we all do, you know, because otherwise you can fuss with stuff for hours. And I'm not normally a super long scrapper. I like to get things done pretty quickly. So because this layout and all the elements I was using, of course, besides the happy birthday sticker, were not birthday related, I did decide to pull out the stamp set that I have. And it's from Ink Road Stamps, and it's just a row of candles. And so I just stamped them kind of a tone on tone on that very light polka dot paper, and you see me doing that right there. And I really like that because it adds a birthday element without overpowering it, so it's still a really fun layout, not very birthday specific. I was really happy when I picked up that picture because it had already been adhered, but it didn't tear anything, and I was shocked, so I must not have put too much pressure when I put it down. And then, you know, my go-to is always this little splatter. I did do only embellishments kind of on the diagonal, and so I wanted to make sure that those splatters were still within those that diagonal. And so once all the paper's adhered and, you know, basically all the elements with paper, now I need to pull out my enamel dots and just little things like that. I like to grab things, especially on the clearance rack, because, well, first of all, they're on clearance, so you know they're cheap. But and I might not have an exact project for them, but I always end up using them, especially if they're in colors that I like. So that's what the deal was with those larger enamels with the shapes inside. So I pulled the one with the heart. There was another orange solid one, but it just seemed too big for what I was doing, so I didn't use it. And I'm just using these smaller enamel dots instead, and sticking to like the orange and the teal. And I think there's a blue one that I ended up putting down, but you'll see those in the close-ups. But I love doing that. The enamel dots really just add a little something without adding too much bulk or in your face kind of elements. So basically, okay, here I am pulling another sticker again, pulling, you know, just kind of messing with the embellishment clusters. There's only two, so it's not a whole lot. And the very little bit of journaling, which I end up doing on that top left side. Oh, that little hole, I decided to fill it, so I just hand cut a circle around it with some of that plaid paper that was left over. I really like that plaid paper, and I end up using it later too. But here it is for the most part. I do end up adding some more stuff, so just hold on. But I hope you, if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I do post at least 2 videos a week. One will always be scrapbooking, and the second is whatever it is I'm creating in the Command Center, which is the name of my blog and my craft room. I hope you decide to join me, and like I said, 2 a week, and it's always a lot of fun. If you have any questions or comments, obviously leave those below as well. Again, the link for the scrapbooking site where I got the sketch and also my blog will be down below, which you can look at close-ups of pictures and more details on the products that I used, and et cetera, et cetera. So here's my go-to. I always seem to use my fine point black pen and just outline things. So I only did it on a couple of the strips, and you'll see me kind of going through that. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm adding a little strip because remember I mentioned I added that little plaid background to that orange enamel dot is what I'm going to call it. And then I did a little scallop thing on that bottom left. So I added that one little strip underneath that photo just to give it, you know, the triangle, visual triangle. So here are some details. I hope you do like it. Again, give me a thumbs up. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you're not already a subscriber. Thanks for watching. Bye.